We are back on Get Up. Time for QB Quick Reads. Orlovsky, let's start with Jackson Dart. So far, so good for him. How does he take the next step against New Orleans?
Yeah, obviously the athleticism continues to be a part of his game in running the football. That being said, I love the way that he climbed vertically in the pocket last week. That has to continue to be a big deal. Take less hits. Throwing over the middle of the field, I was so impressed with him. Take less hits. Massive challenge without his number one receiver. Take the step in making sure that game doesn't look too overwhelming like it did last week.
Now, just when you thought things maybe takes the turn for the better for the Giants, you lose Malik Neighbors. I mean, it is devastating, but obviously it looked like the whole team got juice out of the quarterback.
They got juice. They rallied around him. When I see a rookie quarterback, I look at it like a freshman playing the varsity. It's like, only thing I want to make sure of is that you're not scared. We saw that. Now be smarter. Now develop. Now mature.
Yeah. I did at Shannon High School. No big deal.
We'll see. We will see if maybe Cleveland gets the same sort of reaction with Dylan Gabriel this weekend. Next quarterback quick read here, Danny. How about Drake May and the Patriots? You mentioned earlier you think they have Buffalo on upset alert.
There's no doubt about it, and I don't know if there's a lot of quarterbacks doing more for their offense than Drake May. I love Josh McDaniels in the way that they've allowed the athleticism to be a part of his game. He's driving the football downfield, but being smart when the defenses are soft, taking those checkdowns. The connection that he has with Stephon Diggs is very real. Man, he sees it. Zone, he sees it. And the tight ends and their usage of their tight ends is a big deal. I am so impressed right now with Drake May. Buffalo's defense is going to have their hands full against him.
Compton, with Cincinnati losing their quarterback, with Baltimore off to a rough start, there may be room in the playoffs for a team we didn't expect. Do you think the Patriots could be that team?
Absolutely. They got Vrabel as the head coach. There's going to be a lot of gritty culture wins, but honestly, it's like building off what Danny O said. Drake May's playing very well. They have a good run defense. They have to clean it up in their back seven a little bit. But yeah, this is a team who can run the football well, and they have the formula to do it.
Shefty, how about the other side? The Bills, just like last week, felt like, I don't want to say they were going through the motions.
2 weeks in a row.
It just feels like it's easy for them. Where are we with Buffalo? Right?
I would think Buffalo's going to come to life Sunday night game against a division rival. They need to play better football than they have. They know that. Josh Allen has kept this team afloat, and they got Stephon Diggs back in Buffalo.
Stephon Diggs revenge game.
I don't think that'll.
I agree. And I'm telling you, Steph looks fantastic. I'm shocked that Steph had that knee injury last year. I think he's been one of the bright spots that in a story that hasn't been talked about enough. Buffalo's offense has been tremendous, and their defense is without two important starters. But this is a defense right now that's struggling to stop the run and play good pass coverage. It's going to get challenged against that offense. That group's playing well.
Another game we have this weekend is Cowboys-Jets. You just did the Jets on Monday night, but do you expect Dak and George Pickens to dominate in this one?
Yeah, I do. It really feels like Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys are this year's Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. A defense that's absolutely atrocious, but a quarterback that's playing like an MVP and putting up 40 points per game and doing things historically that haven't been done. And his connection with George Pickens only seems to be growing by the week. And credit George, he's playing with good intensity.
Let me show this quickly, Shefty, before I get to anything else. The Cowboys, the Sunday night felt like a win to me for them. And for them to get the equivalent of half a point out of it seems like a big win. And if you look at their upcoming schedule, I believe the Cowboys have every chance to play their way back into contention, especially if and when they get CD Lamb back, which I'm curious when we should expect that. What are your thoughts, Shefty?
I see week 7 for the Commanders, and CD Lamb was already at practice yesterday, spotted around. They didn't put him on IR. So that tells you they don't think it's going to be 4 weeks, or they want to have him involved in practice. So he's going to miss this week. I would imagine he'll miss next week, and I would think he'll have a chance to be back for the Washington game in a couple of weeks. And there's an offense also, Greeny. They've been dominant at home. The offense is not as good on the road outside. They need to be better against the Jets team on the road this week.
CeeDee Lamb has what it takes. The question is, will he do what it takes?
George Pickens
has what it takes. The question is, will he do what it takes? We know he has the ability to be a number one and sustain while CeeDee Lamb is out. We've seen him pop the way we saw him pop against the Packers. The question is, can he be consistent? That's what you want out of a number one, is that every time you show up on Sunday, you are going to get the same guy. Do not play down to your opponent because, as my coach would always say, those guys are on contract too. Don't let the Jets fool you into think that this is going to be an easy road, and you change your intensity or you change the standard that you set a week ago.
Compton, I'm going to flip the question, because in the AFC, I said there may be a spot open we didn't expect. The NFC is a murderer's row. I mean, it is going to be there are going to be really good teams that get left out in the NFC playoff picture. Do you think the Cowboys, we looked at the schedule a moment ago, can they play their way into contention?
No, I don't think so. You ultimately have to expect Dak Prescott to play perfect all season long. They have an opportunity, but the opportunity is can they fix at all what's going on defense? They're giving up 33 points a game. They're giving up 420 yards average on their defensively per game, which is the worst in the NFL. They have more holes in this defense than a screen door in a submarine. They have to start fixing the defense just a little bit, because if you're leaning on Dak Prescott to be perfect all season, they won't be in the playoffs.
Yeah, you were saying, Dan, we said he can't afford a bad game. You said I can't afford a bad play.
Yeah, I don't think he can afford a bad play. I mean, this is the worst defense in the NFL. The last time we saw a playoff football team that had the worst defense in the NFL was 2011. It was the Green Bay Packers. Now they had the best offense in the NFL and a Hall of Fame quarterback. I think the Cowboys, because of the way that Dak is playing the offense, will kind of be in the picture. It'll just be from the outside in. Every team in the NFC West is better when they're healthy. Every team in the NFC North is better. So we're talking, there's 8 right there, just because this defense is so poor. And so I think that the Falcons are a better football team when they can play the way that they're capable offensively. I think that the Bears obviously are a better football team.
Your description would put the Cowboys much closer to the bottom than to the playoffs.
Yeah, and I kind of thought this team, even with Micah, was like right on the fringe of the playoffs. I think the offense will keep them in the conversation. Worst defense in football. It's the worst defense in football.
Final word, Shefty.
Getting to the playoffs with a poor defense is not usually a reliable recipe. Right. They're going to need to play better defensively somehow, some way. And Jerry Jones talked about making a move when he traded away Micah Parsons. Right. Maybe they make some type of move for some type of defensive
He said something this week about help being on the way, right? I mean, I don't know if he was talking about getting Overshown back from injury, or is there a trade they could make?
There are various avenues. Overshown could be back. Maybe they do wind up trading for a defensive player for a team that gets rid of some defensive parts before the trade deadline. But if they're competitive and they're winning games, they have the means and the capabilities to go do what they want.
They have the schedule to play their way back in. We'll see if they can. Meanwhile, I want you to hear a funny quote. This is the Bucs and Seahawks this weekend. Baker Mayfield getting set to face Sam Darnold. They were briefly teammates in Carolina, which led to this unique exchange with the reporter and Baker. Listen.
Reminisce about the good old days in Carolina? What are you talking about?
Reminisce about what days?
Good old days in Carolina?
Oh, nope. No, we don't.
Baker has made no secret. Remember, he went after that last week, the Jets defensive coordinator and everything else. No secret about that. But this is a sneaky great game, right? I mean, Seattle and Tampa is a matchup, I think, of two teams that people don't talk about as Super Bowl contenders much, but maybe should. I think both of them are good enough to make deep runs in the NFC.
Oh, there's no question about it. Both are legit NFC championship contending football teams. Tampa has to get healthy, and when they are, I think Bucky Irving, who's I think he's in the conversation with the Bijan Robinsons and Jahmyr Gibbs. That's special of a player. I think Seattle, number one. Front seven on defense is as good as anybody's. I think their back coverage unit is fantastic. Sam Darnold, playing quarterback-wise,